إن الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله ما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear respected guests, distinguished scholars and participants from all over the world, welcome to the 12th International Conference on Islamic Economics and Finance on the theme of Sustainable Development for Real Economy. So the topic of our session is Islamic Finance, Empowerment and Sustainability. We have 6 presenters. We expect to have all of them in the session. And we are allocated 90 minutes for the whole session. So each of presenters has 10 minutes for presenting the papers and followed by 2 minutes of questions and answers. So the session is moderated by Dr. Adam Ruslan Nagayan from Istanbul Sabahattin Zaim University. And without further delay, let's start with the first session. Our first distinguished, respected Professor Dr. Muhammad Tahir Jan from International Islamic University, Malaysia, Faculty of Business Administration or Department of Business Administration, Faculty of Economics and Management Sciences. And please, Dr. Muhammad Tahir Jan, please, your stage.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum to everyone. First of all, thank you, Dr. Adam, for introduction. I'm Muhammad Tahir Jan. I'm an associate professor working with International Islamic University at the Department of Business Administration, College of Economics. Before I start my presentation, I would like to thank the organizers and the committee for accepting my paper and giving me this opportunity, even though a unique opportunity, presenting live virtually, but I hope it will be fruitful. So now I'm going to share my screen with you where you will see my slides that I prepared, and then we'll discuss along as I go with the slides. So give me a second and let me share my slides with you. Now, is it clear? The slides are visible to all of you?
Yes, that's fine. We can see.
Okay. So the topic of my research paper is an empirical comparative study of circular economy from a consumer perspective. This is somehow the extension of a study that I conducted a few months ago. I presented a few months ago in Qatar. It was the same conference, Islamic Finance, Islamic Economics and Finance Conference, and focus was on circular economy. So I wanted to see how would the model and the research work when you compare it with Turkey. So the data of Malaysia already had, and then I had to collect the data from Turkey, and then this is how the research goes. The outline of the presentation is we'll start with introduction, then a quick literature review. I'll not focus more on the literature review because I think we don't have a lot of time. The framework of the study, the methodology, findings, conclusion, and recommendation. When we talk about production and consumption, I will take you back. We know that today the world is facing a lot of problems, particularly when it comes to excessive consumption of products. People around the globe are consuming products, but the problem is that we do not have any solid methods of recycling or disposing of those products. We know that around the globe, the oceans, the forests are damaged because of the waste. And it has put a lot of pressure on the Mother Earth. So the process where the products are produced without any solid method of recycling in a way that people can use it again, we call it linear economic system or the linear economy, where the focus is on producing large quantity of products and then consuming those large quantity without keeping in mind the impact of that on the on overall environment. Now it looks good because from financial terms, producing large quantity and consuming large quantity encourages economic activity. But when we focus on this particular point from the perspective of sustainability, it has a lot of adverse effect. it has caused a lot of damage to the environment and the generation to come. So what should we do? If this is the case, there must be a solution for that problem. And the solution, luckily, is the thing which is called the circular economy or the circular economic system. This approach was introduced, and the circular economic system has some amazing things to offer for us. What is it? The circular economy or the circular economic system focuses on the reuse of the products, the repair of the product, the refurbishment, and the recycling in such a way that its impact on the environment is reduced as much as possible. So it's a very promising and a very attractive philosophy, and it is aligned with the United States Sustainable Development Goals as well, the sustainability goals. Now, when it comes to the definition, there is a problem because there is a lack of consensus on the definition of the circular economy. There are so many definitions of circular economy, but the central point of all those definitions are that we must reduce the waste or find out a mechanism where the waste are circulated and the products are made out of the waste and those products are further used. So it should be a cyclical process rather than a process where the products are produced and then they are consumed and finished. No, the process should be a cyclical process where the impact on the environment is reduced as much as possible. Our research, my research focused mostly from the perspective of marketing. I'm a marketing professor, and particularly the consumer perspective. So because consumer plays an important role, we being consumers, we buy a product, but we are unaware of the impact of the use or the consumption of those products on the environment. So it was a very appealing and promising topic for me. So I wanted to further investigate that what are the factors that influence people to buy circular economic products, the products which are produced with the philosophy of circular economy. And as I told you that I've already done this research in Malaysia last year and presented the beginning of this year in Qatar. So I wanted to do the same research in Turkey and then compare the results. So this is the main contribution of this research where the data from Malaysia and Turkey are acquired, they are compared, which I'm going to show you in a while. I'll go through the literature review quickly. The products which are produced mostly with the philosophy of linear system, they have an inherited problem. And the problem is that as it reaches the end, it loses its value, it loses its functionalities, and normally people will dispose them off and it will become a burden on the environment. The linear economic systems are those systems which are responsible for the degradation of the environment. So new systems were required, new methods were required, new philosophies were required, and that's why the method of circular economic system was introduced, where the focus is on slowing down the process. If we cannot completely disconnect it, so it should be slowed down so that the impact on the environment is reduced significantly. Then the definition that I selected, I personally like it. It's a very detailed definition. Is a circular economy is a system where the resource input and the waste becomes the input of another system. So it's a so beautiful definition. The resource waste becomes the input for another system, and it makes the whole process long lasting. The products that are produced with the philosophy of circular economy are those products where the products are easily repairable, reusable, it can be refurbished, and it can be recycled. So the focus is on sustainability is there. What about marketing now? Where is the role of marketing in the whole circular economy? The role of marketing is, I have to take you back to the marketing philosophies, and particularly the market orientation, the marketing management orientation, we call it, or the evolution of marketing, that what are different philosophies in marketing available for us, and which one of those philosophies are related to the circular economy. So quickly speaking, we have production orientation stage, we have product orientation stage, we have sales orientation stage. These stages are the stages where the focus of the companies are to produce large quantity of products, sell large quantity of products, and the consumers are encouraged to consume large quantity of products. Then another a method was introduced which was called quality of life marketing, where the focus is more on sustainability. The focus is more on producing those products which have lower adverse effect on the environment. Particularly, the societal marketing concepts are aligned with the philosophy of circular economy. In this research, I've adopted a very established theory. It is called the theory of planned behavior, commonly called TPB, where the focus is on factors that influence consumers' buying intention. So I'm actually finding out what are the factors that influence consumers to buy circular products or products which are sustainable. The dimensions or the factors of TPB. We have purchase intention as a ultimate dependent variable. Then we have attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavior control as the original antecedents of purchase intention, or the factors that influence purchase intention. I'm taking it as it is originally, but I've added two more variables, and those two variables are related to the circular economy: the convenience and availability of the products, and the impact of those products on the environment. So with the existing TPB model, Dr. Adam, please give me a cue if you think that I'm running out of time.
Yes, please.
Okay.
You have 1 minute, please.
Okay.
Thanks.
So the model looks like that. The model with the three original dimensions and the two that I added. Research methodology, quantitative methods were used. Data was collected using soft copies and online questionnaire from Malaysia and Turkey. 377 questionnaires were collected from Malaysia, and 351 were selected from Turkey. SPSS and MO softwares were used. The data shows that 63% males replied to the survey in Malaysia and 68% from Turkey. The age group, majority of the respondents from Malaysia are 30 years and above, whereas majority of the respondents in Turkey are 25 years and above. In both the countries, postgraduate degree holders were the one who replied, and in both the countries, married respondents were the maximum. The Cronbach alpha, you can see that it is acceptable in both the countries. This is the Malaysia reliability test with 0.95 Cronbach alpha, and this is the Turkey data with 0.955 as well. In both the countries, exploratory factor analysis emerged with 6 dimensions, 6 factors as it was envisaged. Give me 1 more minute and then I will try to conclude it. Confirmatory factor analysis in both the countries were conducted, and the result of the confirmatory factor analysis in Malaysia and in Turkey both are satisfactory, whereas the focus of important point here is that in Malaysia, the data, the results are comparatively much better than that of the Turkey. The Turkey are comparatively weaker. Similarly, the data of final structure model, as you can see, the data of Malaysia is CFI is 0.93, norm chi-square is 3, and the RUNCIA is 0.07. If you can see in the bottom right corner, and in Turkey, it is more or less the same, but slightly lower in strength. In Malaysia, we supported 3 hypotheses: attitude, subjective norm, and environmental impact have a positive impact on purchase intention, whereas in Turkey, we could not find evidence to support convenience and environmental impact that have an influence on purchase intention. Rather, the original TPV model was kept, and the original TPV model resulted to have a strong impact on the purchase intention. Now, some conclusion and recommendation. I will just try to quickly finish it. The focus of producer and consumer in Malaysia should be to produce products where the focus is on environmental impact, whereas in Turkey, the focus should be given to perceived behavior control. Policymakers, practitioners, and organizations should focus on influencing the attitude, the perceived behavior control, and the subjective norm of the consumers in order to make them buy circular product. It was pretty fast. I hope that those of you are listening, they would get a chance to read the paper and give me their feedback. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad Tahir Jan. Thank you. It was quite interesting topic, and thank you for your valuable contribution to circular economics.